went to college after school thinking I'd do illustration and loved drawing and painting. And then in my second year at Medway College of Art in Kent, I was taught by this amazing woman, Barbara Brown, and fell in love with doing printed textiles, and went to the Royal College and did a 3-year printed textile course. When I first went, I thought I'd be doing curtains and furnishing fabrics. And then I fell in love with the fact that textiles move around the body, and it's a textile that you've got to see in a certain way. And that was it. I ended up designing printed textiles for garments. What makes you proud is when the world actually accepts what you do. So, for example, recently I've been seeing the Bohemian Rhapsody with the Freddie Mercury picture of him looking absolutely wonderful. And I did that garment in 1974, long before they did Bohemian Rhapsody or any of that music. So it was wonderful for me to remake that for the film. I mean, I treasure the pictures that I see on Princess Diana. But if I see someone in my garments, like pictures of Lauren Bacall or pictures of Jackie Kennedy, they make you feel proud, and you think, oh, I designed that. And I think it's seeing your clothes on someone that makes you feel proud of them. I think I would say, first of all, be daring. Don't always make it in the colour that you've seen the picture in, if you're making it from a pattern, because I do Vogue patterns as well. And they always say don't use your prints because people then can't get that print. So I try and do things that people could do, but nowadays you could easily do some wonderful hand painting. If you're making it yourself, you're supplying your own labour free, so you could be experimental and do all sorts of wonderful things. I looked at the different knitwear that I did. Mainly the knitwear, when I did it, was for my shop, which was open about 15 years. And it was just off of Bond Street, so that if you've got people coming in for, say, a fantasy chiffon dress that everyone publicise, they might go and buy themselves a lovely dolman sleeve sweater. So the knitwear didn't continue once I hadn't got the shop. Not because I don't love it, because I think knitwear is made with such love. You know, you're working on all those stitches. I think there's something quite magical about it. I tried to choose pieces for this show, to show for the Knitting and Stitching show, of a very early one that I did with wonderful flaps and big pearls on it, that was a very exotic one and was shown on the front of Women's Wear Daily in my first show. I did some that are intarsia with my very, very typical Zandra Rhodes one-eyed lady, and sort of lovely big sweaters with some things knitted into it, because I'm always amazed when I was lucky enough to attend one of the knitting and stitching shows. I'm amazed at how wonderfully keen everyone is. And I think that that's so exciting, that it's something that you can just continue to do, and maybe watching TV if you're really skilled, and or on a plane. So it's one of those wonderful crafts, and it's great that there's been a resurgence. So I tried to choose a classic from each of the divisions, whether it was the ones when I was doing my necklace prints. I've got one of the prints in the Bath Museum, but I did it also in knitting, so it's rather wonderful when I did a catalogue for Brother. And I tried to just think about giving everyone just an overview of things I'd done. I think probably my favourite textile to work with is silk chiffon, merely because I'm mainly a printer. I print on silk chiffon, and I make either chiffon tops or I make chiffon evening dresses, but then they can be reinterpreted like the one I'm wearing, which is rayon crepe. I go walking every weekend, and my friend who I go with, apart from running a hospital, is a mad knitter, and I had to promise her that I'd take her to the knitting and stitching show when it was next on, and she's always knitting, and that when I gave away the award to Kay Fassett, we were given big bags of knitting wool, and I got myself special knitting needles, and I understand there are some wonderful courses on the computer that I should be taking, and then I'm going to knit myself a sort of beanie hat with ears, one of those square ones. I think they're a bit easier to knit. I'll start with that. I'm not always dressed fabulously. I'm dressed fabulously for doing an interview. But when I'm working, I will wear a dungaree suit, but I always wear full jewellery and makeup and have my hair done, so that I look all right as far as you can see, and then I'll be in plimsolls and walking around to be easy in the workroom. I do love dressing up, but I always get worried because when I'm working in the print room and working on design, there's nothing worse than suddenly leaning over on a light box and catching something that you like wearing. So I don't dress up all day. I always wear my own designs because the way I think is, if I'm selling clothes and I don't wear them myself, then how would I think that someone else should wear them? And I wear them because I love them and I feel right, and hope that everyone else is going to wear them and feel right. I have just finished my book that's being published by Yale called Zandra Rhodes, 50 Years of Fabulous Fashion. And it is going to be the catalogue for our exhibition at the Fashion and Textile Museum that will be opened by Princess Michael this September the 26th. And it is Zandra Rhodes, 50 Years of Fabulous. And in it there will be 50 garments and probably even more lengths of chiffon that the students can get a chance to see. We've still got to decide the image of the whole show, but basically there will be garments and the book itself is divided up in 10 years sections to celebrate my 50 years. So you've got 69 to 79, 79 to 89, and so through to the present day. So we will be getting out the various clothes and revamping them.